Ritesh, thanks for agreeing to talk to us. Ngifuna ukubuza from your side i-agreement obunayo namaJita before the game started ukuthi bekuyini and what did you think of it?
Is to build certain principles and certain habits in possession and out of possession. Before even my idea, maybe even as a coach, but the club's ideas as a team, they want to play good football, they want to dominate games, and so now my task is to make sure that we instill these principles for us to be able to play with the ball. But also, when you don't have the ball, you have to be aggressive and try to win the ball back as quick as you can, and we start to play again. So these are some of the principles that we have. So within those basic tactical or technical principles, we have our own tactical principles and tactical variations that we want to teach our players, and for our players to understand, because learning also and them growing as footballers, we have to test them and we have to put them in situations where they have to think, they have to use their brain more than they use their feet. So it's one of my ideas to try and help these players to become better, so the game was okay. I think the first half was good. We played well, we played better. The second half became a little bit, maybe they took the game for granted and they took the oppositions for granted. And I think also maybe when you make a lot of substitutions in the game, we have to make substitutions because players have to play and get playing time. But when you make a lot of substitutions, like 3, 4, 5 substitutions, it destabilizes your initial rhythm, But I think also because the boys that we played were younger boys from the under 14, so they came in, they did well. Laboshaka, Luanle, and Oket as well. So it was good.
Integration process in action. But just the last point, coach. End of the game, you have a long chat with the guys, and I overheard you say that the scoreline is not so important. They scored 5 goals, but take me through that. What were you trying to do?
What I'm trying to do also is to maybe us understanding that for us to build a good team and a strong player, there are certain basic principles that we need to have, and those principles should not change because of the scoreline, be it it's 5-0 up or 5-0 down. But those principles needs to be there. We need to show them all the time. So obviously for young players, it's difficult to have this kind of consistency, but we still have to push them towards that consistency. If it grows from 50% to 60% to 70%, and then I think we have won most of the battles. So also for them to understand, to stick to the plans, but also use their own discretion in the game, their own abilities, their own talent. We're not trying to create a situation where you say pass left, pass right, but when you are in there, you create possibilities for them to understand that when I'm here in this position, these are the possibilities that I have. When I'm in this position, these are the possibilities I have. So we want also within the structure for them to also excel in the structure with their own individual playing. Like there are players, there are things that players that they see we don't see. There are passes that you will think that he will pass it there and then he looks this way and then pass the other way. And we don't teach these things, and we don't want them to lose them, but we want them to use them in the right areas at the right moments. So we want them to understand the moments, to understand the spaces, and to get to the right spaces. But also when you get to the right spaces, you have to have the right body posture, a body, good first touch, back foot, front foot, let it roll. It depends on the moment, but as long that they understand these principles, and I think these principles also supplement their own talent, and then once the principles are laid, the talent also blossoms, so this is the idea, and we want them to grow and to become better players, and I love young players that plays against older guys, and and also still show personality and this aggression in possession and out of possession as well. Because for me, I think this is the only way that these boys can grow. You know, when you put them under these tests and use for them to think and use their talent, use your talent, use your talent. You know, so for me, this is the idea.
I think this kind of explains why they could start with Sundowns, and I think the boys are in good hands. For me, it's just to say good luck, coach, and keep on the good work.
Thank you so much.